audit your thoughts, but also audit your circle. Anyone who generates negative thoughts, respectfully remove them from your life. Anyone who generates positive thoughts, add them to your life, and then figure out how many more people you can add into that circle as well. Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Matthew Welsh, and welcome to the Leaders Only podcast, where we talk about business, leadership, mindset, and it's pretty much anything revolved around building an incredible life. You know, the reason that I started this podcast because I felt like on the way to where we're at now, there wasn't really a place to go learn tangible skill sets, leadership qualities, and mindset strategies that you can learn today, apply today, and get immediate results. And so the goal of this podcast is to teach you the things that you need to actually win, to actually change your life, and to actually grow your business and grow your team if you're someone that's in a leadership role. And so if you can do me a favor, if you ever get something out of our message, if you ever get something out of the content, if you can like, share, subscribe, just tell people about it. We put out all this information for free. And so all we ask is that you share it with a friend if you get something out of it. So with that being said, thank you guys so much, and let's tune in.
I'm a big mood. You can't name a lot of things that I didn't.
What if I told you that who you are is the reason for where you are? Let me say it one more time. Who you are is the reason for where you are. You know, I know a lot of times we like to point the finger and say that we are at where we're at because of someone else or this or that or the third or whatever it might be. And we never take full responsibility for where we are at in life because it's a lot easier to point the finger rather than taking responsibility for where we're at. And I just want to challenge you to take 100% responsibility for your life and start to move towards the life that you want. Because we all have big goals. We have big dreams. We have big aspirations for the things that we want to do in our life. And it's the reason why when you're watching a movie or you see someone speak on stage and you hear their story about how they went through all this adversity and they come out on top and they become this success story, or you watch that movie and they take the game-winning shot and they win the game and the crowd screams, and or you watch the movie where the superhero flies in and saves the day and you get emotional as you hear the story, or you watch the game-winning basket, or you get emotional as the superhero flies in. The reason you get emotional is because you know that you have a piece of yourself in that person that went on to do great things with their life. You just haven't pulled that person out of you just yet. And so what I want to do is identify why you haven't pulled that person out of you, why you haven't gone on to become that success story. And it all comes down to how we think. It all comes down to how we think. Once again, who we are is the reason for where we are. And if we can audit our thoughts, if we can audit the way that we think, and we can start to improve the way that we think, we can go on to become successful. Because getting wealthy is a mental game. Winning is a mental game. What dominates your thinking will determine the outcome of your life, and whatever you think about the most, you will move towards. This is why they tell race car drivers to not look at the side, because then they'll probably crash into it. They tell them not to look there because whatever you look at, whatever you think about, you will move towards. So just remember, whatever you think about the most, you will move towards. So the question I have for you is, what are you thinking about the most? And that's my message today, is for you to audit your thinking. Audit your thoughts, because thoughts lead to decisions, decisions lead to actions, and actions lead to either results and or the lack of results. So if we can audit our thoughts and start to move towards having better thoughts, well, better thoughts equals better decisions, which equals better actions, which equals a better quality of life. And so I want to challenge you to become more observant of the thoughts that you think. And I also want to challenge you to talk to yourself versus listen to yourself. You know, most people have no idea what they think about. Have you ever thought about that? Like, what do you think about? Have you ever thought about what you think about? Have you ever sat down and said, okay, what did I think about today? Did those thoughts serve me or did they hurt me? Because every thought I think sends a vibration through my body, and that vibration sends me in a direction. So if I want to move in the direction of a better marriage, well, then I need to think better thoughts revolved around my marriage. I need to think better thoughts revolved around my wife, and or if you're, maybe your husband, whatever it might be. Right? If we think better thoughts in that direction, then naturally we will move in that direction. Or maybe you want to be better in your health. Well, guess what? Now you got to ask yourself the question, what thoughts am I thinking revolve around my health? Or maybe it's your financial success or your business success. What thoughts are you thinking on a daily basis? And are those thoughts serving you and or hurting you? Are they moving you towards the goal and or away from the goal? So if every thought you think sends a vibration through your body and that vibration sends you in a direction, that means that if you have one positive thought and then one negative thought, then we are exactly where we were originally when we started that day. So that means that our positive thoughts And our good thoughts need to outweigh our negative thoughts, or else we're going to end up in a standstill and we're never going to get anywhere. And so we need to start becoming a lot more aware of our thinking patterns. We need to start becoming more aware of our thought processes, and we need to start becoming a lot more aware of what we think about. So what are some things that we can do to improve upon our thinking? Number one is, like I said earlier, talk to yourself. Don't listen to yourself. Most people, when situations come up, they don't even think about what they're thinking about. They just kind of go through the motions. What I try to do is I try to tell myself how I want to feel every single day. I tell myself I am a champion. I am a winner. I am a leader. I attract abundance in my life. I look at everything through a positive lens. Things happen for me. They don't happen to me. I talk to myself instead of listen to myself, because when I listen to myself, I like to throw myself a pity party. I like people to feel bad for me when I listen to myself. But when I talk to myself, I tell myself how to feel. And when I tell myself how to feel, once again, it leads to better outcomes. The second thing that you can do is surround yourself with people that feed positive thoughts in you. For instance, if you're around me, my number one job is to uplift you. Because as a leader, if you inspire people to do more, be more, and achieve more, then guess what? You're a leader. That's what makes a leader. Somebody who inspires people to do more, be more, and achieve more. So if you're in my circle and I consider myself a leader, my goal is to help you do more, be more, and achieve more. That's not going to happen if you have a negative mindset. So as a leader, my job is to help pour into you a positive mindset, because once again, if you think better, you're going to take better actions and you're going to get better results. So if you can immerse yourself into an environment of people who are constantly uplifting you, then naturally it's going to be easier for you to think better thoughts. But if you are immersed into an environment of people that are doubting you, negative, maybe they live in the CNN, constant negative news, right? And they're just constantly pouring out negativity, then it's going to become very, very difficult for you to have the level of success in your thought process. So I just want to challenge you, audit your thoughts, but also audit your circle. Who's pouring in positive thoughts? Who's pouring in negative thoughts? Anyone who generates negative thoughts, respectfully remove them from your life. Anyone who generates positive thoughts, add them to your life, and then figure out how many more people you can add into that circle as well. And then last but not least, what I would encourage you to do is step into your faith. Step into your faith. Because when you identify what true north is for you and you create a relationship with your creator, it becomes a lot easier to think better thoughts, because your creator only pours in better thoughts, and any negative thoughts are of the adversary. Any negative thoughts are of the enemy. And so when you think negative thoughts, just realize those are thoughts that came from the enemy. When you think positive thoughts, just realize that you are operating in your God-given giftedness. Every single time you think a positive thought, an encouraging thought, a loving thought, you are operating in your natural born creation. But every single time you think a negative thought, you are operating in the ways of the enemy. And so if we can become more in tune with our faith, it becomes a lot easier to step into a positive thought process, which will then lead to, once again, a better outcome in our life. Because thoughts become things. What dominates your thinking will determine the outcome of your life. If you could see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Whatever you think about the most, you will move forward. Because once again, thoughts lead to decisions. Decisions lead to actions. Actions lead to the results that we want in our life. And if we can pay attention to our thoughts, we can create our life versus settling for one. So guys, if you got something out of today's podcast, if you could do me a favor, if you can like, share, subscribe, tell a neighbor about it. I don't care, but let's just get the word out about the Leaders Only podcast. We put out all this information for free. All we ask is that if you ever get something from it, you tell a friend. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next week on the Leaders Only podcast.